Hello, good afternoon all. Myself Sudaika Samal and I am working as a technical executive in TechSavvy. So today's my topics for the webinar is how to avoid the file corruptions in Solidworks. So this is one of the important problem. This problem occurs in every client. This problem has been recorded in our CRM in our ticket that most of the client faces problem in file corruptions. So if you are facing any this kind of corruption, so how you will avoid in SolidWorks. So this is about my today's webinar. Now moving on to the next, that is introductions for this file corruptions. So basically file corruption can affect any user, any file stored on a computer. You're not sure that whether your files will be corrupted or not, or whether in this system or in your laptop it will get corrupted. You're also not sure that this will happen to you or not, or it may also happen to your colleagues also. So file corruptions can affect any user, any files which are stored on the computer. It causes the loss of great time and money. So if you get a corrupt file where there is a need in the company for the manufacturing, and that file gets corrupted, that designs were not unable to publish for manufacturing. So what will cause this will cause a great deal with time and money, the time which you have spent in designing and the money for which your manufacturing or for which your components has been lost. And one of the most compelling reason is for working back solution. Yes, this is one of the compelling reason. If you are having the backup files, then it is very well and good. You can use that backup file to create the remaining files. But if you don't have any backup folder created in your system, then it is very pathetic. So 4 stages of data loss. So what I have done is I have created 4 stages that, like, if in case you lost your data, then what it happens. So it has been divided. It occurs in 4 stages. Like in first stage, your files get, if it gets corrupt, then you sit quiet and you think that I have not erased my file. I think if it, although it has been erased, then there must be some backup. In second stage, you get anger. You get that, like, what stupid craps is happening with me? Where is my data? Why my data get lost? Why these things you get? After that, you get anger. In third stage, after getting anger, you become depressed. Why? Because the data is lost. It may also affect to your company, to the manufacturing. Then you get depressed that why it happens to me only, why the data get lost from my end only, from my system only, from me only. And the fourth stage is after you getting depressed, or after you are not getting any solutions, you come to the final solution, that is acceptance. That means I am never going to be graduate. That means there is some lack, as a result of which you have lost your data now. So you can accept that yes, there must be some knowledge lacking which cause this situations. Now, basically everyone must be aware of the SolidWorks file structures. You know, there are 3 elements. The 3 elements are part, assembly and drawing. In that part, assembly drawing, there is also headers, like which format it is, what is the file name, what are the types of files, what is the size of the file, what is the properties, and what is the reference of the files or of the elements. instruction set. What are the features informations, like what you have done in the in that part, in that files, like if it is in case of part, what you have done, like features, cut, extrude balls, shapes, loft, etc. In assembly also same, like which mate you have given, same in the drawing cases. So these are some of the instruction set you will find in the feature manager tree. What are the database, like the actual geometry, what is the actual geometry of the model, what is the topology and the boundaries of solid bodies and surface, and rollback data. So basically this is totally a file, Solidworks file structures, where you have known that, as you know that there are three elements, there are also some headers in that elements, there are also some instruction set in that elements, and there are also some database in that elements. Now moving to the typical streams, like part, if in the three elements it has been like you can see part assembly drawing. So in part, what you will find, you will find the reference geometry, files, sketch geometry, dimensions, feature definitions, library, entity, option setting, configuration, material. Same in the assembly, reference geometry, assembly sketches, list of reference file, mate, exploded view, configuration, assembly pattern, internal parts. And in drawing you will also find the scale, seed scale, template information, view placement and content, list of reference file, reference dimensions, sketches, notes, reclines. So these are some of the typical stream you will find in the three elements, as though you may be working in a part, in an assembly or in a drawing. Now coming to the next slide, that is causes of file corruption. So what are the causes? We don't know what is the exact causes of the file corruption. There will be many causes of the file corruption. So some of the file corruptions, like power fluctuations. You are working in a file and suddenly your power gets fluctuated. It is also a case of file corruption. Killing an application. Suppose if you are working in a file, and what you did is if your system is getting slow, if your system is not working with you, but the people usually do is they used to kill the applications, like going to the taskbar and ending the task, or clicking on the close button so that your application can get closed. So this is also one of the cause for killing an applications. Hardware problem, there is another cause of file corruption, that is hardware problem. If you are changing your hardware instruments randomly, sometimes in working in hard drive in hardware, and your hardware get dead, and this is also one of the causes of file corruptions. File transfer issue, like if you're transferring your file from one system to another system, or if you're transferring your file to the mail, or you're doing any kind of exchanges of files from one system to another, this is also a cause of the file corruption. Network failure, if you're working in a network and your network get fail, your network is not working, then this is also one kind of causes of file corruption. So these are some of the causes of file corruption you can face, but we should be aware of this kind of causes. If these 5 causes are the main causes of creating a file corruption, so we must be aware of these causes. Now moving on to the next, that is symptoms of corruptions. Like what all symptoms you will get, that you can know that a file has been corrupted. Like file itself cannot be opened. When you are trying to open, it cannot get opened, it cannot get saved, or it cannot get closed. This is one kind of symptoms of file corruptions. Like least features in feature manager tree is grayed out. Yes, your file is getting open, but your list feature manager tree is grayed out. It is not showing your features tree, your features. So this is also symptoms of corruptions. Unexpected graphical issue. if you are having a graphical issue problem, if your driver is not updated, if you are not having supported graphics, so this is also a symptoms of corruptions. Feature error that cannot be fixed. If you are having any error in your features which cannot be fixed, this is also a causes of the corruptions. If you are unable to rebuild your file, if you are working on a file and your file is not getting rebuilt, then this is also a symptoms of file corruption. Specific corruptions, yellow error or warning. If you are getting any warning or error in a specific file, this is also symptoms of corruptions. And crashes, like if you are not having any latest service pack of your version. If you are working in SolidWorks 2020 and you are having service pack 1 or service pack 0, so in service pack also there is some bugs, so you should also update your service packs every 1 to 3 months so that your SolidWorks won't get crash. So updating service pack can also help you not get your file corrupted. So crashes is also one kind of symptoms. Views missing from exported drawing, like if any views is not showing in your drawing or DWG file, DXF file, then that is also a symptoms of corruption. So these are some of the symptoms you can face or you can know as a result of file corruptions. Now, confirming corruptions, validators, what all you can do to confirm that your file is corrupted. Use your quick view mode. You know there are mode like LDR mode, lightweight mode, resolve mode, quick view mode. So you can use the quick view mode to test whether it is opening or not. You can also open it in a e-drawing tools, which is free. You can use it. So e-drawing tools is also a free tool where you can open your file, and if your file is getting opened in e-drawing, that means there is some chances of getting your file back there. And if it is not getting open in e-drawing, that means your file is really getting corrupted. Same in the quick view mode also. If you are not getting any kind of views in that quick view mode, then it is also a confirmation of the file corruptions. Now third is SolidWorks progress indicator. So like just as you know that in 18th progress bar indicator, whenever you try to open a file, you will see that the progress indicator is showing in the top middle, where it shows that how many parts are there, how much time it is taking, how much time it has taken previously to open. If that progress indicator is not showing in the SolidWorks while opening the file, that means your file is corrupted. If your components are isolated, if your components are not seen in the feature manager tree, that means also your file is corrupted. You can also use the new test confirmations, okay, which I will show you in my next slide, that how to use the new test confirmation to confirm that whether the file is corrupted or not. And what is the file size? If the file size is like 0 KB, that means the file has been corrupted. So these are some of the confirmations of corruption, like you can get confirmed that whether your file is corrupted or not. Now moving on to the next, that is what tools are available for to avoid the file corruption. To see this evidence of corruptions, remember it is usually seen by users when opening a SolidWorks file, while rebuilding the files, while force rebuilding of the file, activation of all available configurations, settings a component to rigid or flexible, saving the file, and closing the file. So these are some of the evidence of corruption which has been usually seen by the users. Now you can see that I have added some screenshot which is a sign of file corruptions. So depending on the version in use, The user may be presented with options for recovering the data. However, in most cases, a user will see an error advising them to contact technical support. So you can see below I have added some list of the screenshots which are associated with the corrupted file. Like these kinds of file you used to get in while opening any corruption file, like in assembly, in part, in drawing. You can see all these kind of shown, like SLDM assembly, SLDM part, and error counter while trying to open a file. So these are some of the screenshot which I have attached, which you can also feel that yes, you are getting this kind of problem. Now, how to avoid file corruptions? So this below are some of the method to avoid the file corruption. First is like reduce power fluctuations. So try to reduce the power fluctuations. Use a very good UPS, which will help to provide more than just file damage. It can a good UPS can also avoid from getting damage like hard drive, disk drive, video cards, etc. So use a good UPS. Do not hesitate on killing an application if your system is getting slow. If your system is if you are working and it is working very slow, so don't get panic, don't get that why it is not working according to me, as it is a computer, it is an electronic system. It is not a human being that he can understand what you want to know, what you want to do. So for that, what you have to do is just have a patience, don't get panic, wait, and it will automatically get closed. So always try to avoid killing an application. Maintain a hardware. If you are working, just maintain a good hardware which will last long. No need to change hardware oftenly. Try to use a hard drive, one hard drive which will be there in your systems only. As you know, hardware problems like failing disk controller, faulty memory can also culprits or can also corrupt a file. Adding a UPS, user training, and periodic system maintenance will certainly minimize the problem. Frequent backup, you should also keep a backup or restore tools for the base protection. And if in case you are changing in your hardware, then you should also keep the backup of the files also. And work from the local hard drive. So basically you used to try to work in a local hard drive like drives D, EF. As mentioned earlier, network failures, as you know that network failure are most common causes of file corruptions, especially if users open and save Solidworks file across the network. It is always best to practice like you should copy the file from network to your local hard drive, then you work and then you save, and then you save it in your network. You can also use the PDM employees to functionality to catch the files to a local vault view where users can work on files before checking them back into the server vault. So so it is better you should work in a local hard drive. Maintain your network. If you should maintain one network, like if a user must access like files over a network, so you have to consult a networking specialist if problem occurs. If you face any problems, so you can consult a networking specialist. We can also offer limited advice on networking, as there are many variables in the established and operation of a network. Solidworks uses the same access routines like while opening, closing and saving the files, whether they are open from a network or local address. Network issues are also controlled by Microsoft operating system interacting with the various third-party drivers through the system. So you should maintain a good network while working in Solidworks. Last but not the least, use best practices when installing Solidworks software. So whenever if you are using installing any Solidworks software, don't use a multiple version of Solidworks on your system. Use the version in which you are working, because parallel installations method is also avoided to conflict between the versions. And last, you should remember that whenever you are installing, you should create a backup auto recovery folder for the same. Like, let me show you in Solidworks. Whenever you are installing, after you getting installed, use this backup and auto recovery. This is the main. As you can see, this is the default location. Whenever you used to install, after installing or after upgrading, the backup, the auto recovery file which has been created, the folder which has been created, it is a default. So just avoid to keep the auto recovery or backup folder in C. For that, what you have to do is just check this one. In auto recovery folder, create let me create backup auto recovery, and there I will create auto recovery, and created. Now in auto recovery, select the folder, number of copies you want to keep the document. You can keep 1, you can also keep 2, no problem. Select the backup folder where you have created the auto recovery folder. Okay, keep a reminder, like keep 15 minutes as reminder, so that when here it will show you a pop-up will come that you in 15 minutes you have not saved your file, so kindly save it. This kind of pop-up will come, so that you will save it. You will not forget to save. So these things should be done while installing or upgrading your versions on your Solidworks service pack. Now, troubleshooting with file corruptions. So if you are having any corruption in drawing file, so what all things what you can do to use the corrupted file. So basically what you can do is, if you have how to know that if your file is getting fully corrupted or not. If use your quick view mode whenever you are opening any drawing file, like Windows tab, let me open a drawing file. So these things you will find quick view mode. Okay, in this quick view mode, if your views are getting seen in your Solidworks drawing, that means yes, there is some recovery. Okay, there no need to get panic. You can use the quick view mode to avoid the corrupted file. Just right click on any each sheet and choose the sheet format. Let's say that sheet 3, if you will open this file, okay, and you have created a number of sheets, like here as I have known it is reserved one sheet. If you have created a number of sheet here, just go on to each sheet and see in which sheet it has been corrupted, and when you will find in a particular sheet it has corrupted, then you can replace it with your another sheet. In this way you can use your corrupted drawing troubleshoot. Now coming to the next, that is how to use the corrupted assembly trouble, how you can troubleshoot your assembly. Like if you are having any corrupt file and you want to know whether your file is corrupted or not, how you will do. So let me show you in Solidworks. Let me just open this. When I will open this, you will find that it will show here. You can see the file, this is corrupted and cannot open. Please retrieve the backup copy of the file. If corruption continues, please contact your Solidworks support representative. This kind of this kind of error you used to face. So nothing to get panic, nothing to get worried. Yes, your file can be recovered if it is particularly in some of the part present in that assembly. If it is occurring in some part, then yes, you can replace it. Yes, you can um, uh, clear your corrupt file. How you will do is, just let me close this one. Okay, what I will do is, this is my file. In configuration, I will go to advanced. Okay, press open. Now what you will see is three kind of configuration it is showing. So what I will do is, I will create a new configuration showing assembly structures only, and let me give that name as test. Okay, now when I will click on OK, you will see that my file is not shown. What next you will do is, one by one you will unsuppress your part. What it will do is, it will show that in which part has been corrected. Let me unsuppress one by one. This is okay. This is also okay. This is also okay. Yeah, and in this pin it is showing the file pin is correct. Open. If you have created the backup folder, which I have told you here, if you have created, what you will do is just click on that file, right click, and go to replace component. Okay, what you will do, you will replace this with which one? Let me go to the backup I have created. Okay, now let me wait. This is my backup of pin. I will open and I will click OK. Okay, contents and okay, just click on OK. Okay, click next. Okay, just click OK. Now unsuppress it. You can find your pin is visible. Same. Again, it is showing the same. What you will do is, you will again create that same, the way you have created the long, the way you will also create the same, like going to the this, then going to the replace component, browse, pin. Okay, clicking on the sort configuration which you have open, click OK, click OK, OK, then click OK. Now again you do unsuppress, you will get your pin back. Same, this gets also. Oh, where is the replace it? Browse, pin, select, sort, open. Okay, move on, okay, click on OK, click on OK, just unsuppress it, you will get your pin back. Now you can also unsuppress your assembly, and finally your full assembly has been created. Now you can also save this assembly for your corrupted assembly for your futures. So in this way you can create the corrupted assembly configurations. Okay, now moving on to the same. If you are getting any part problem, you have to check in which features it is showing the correct. Like if you have done any problem in extrude cut or in extrude boss, so these all things can be checked in part, as it contains only some of the features, but in assembly it has number of part. So in this way you can also check your corrupted part troubleshoot. And still if you are not getting, then you can also contact to the VAR, to us, to get the advice on how to proceed. So if we tried, if tech support also tried to repair your corrupted file and still it doesn't get, then what we can do for you is we can create a service request, and that will get submitted in the Solidworks, and on behalf of the VAR they will take some time to repair their file. If they will get all the file, then they can repair it, or else they can say that no, it is almost corrected. So we can, yes we can help by creating the SR. First we will try to create, and if we are unable to create, then our VAR is our Dassault support is there to help in our problem. So finally, thank you so much for watching this webinar. I hope it is very much useful to you. It will help you in your work, in your file getting corrupted. So thank you so much for giving your valuable time for watching this webinar. If you have any queries, you can contact me in my mail ID, that is laika@techsavvy.co.in or support@techsavvy.co.in. You can also call me in my hotline number, that is 9310057 we are also having our site in Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. You can also go there. You can also search Tech Savvy, and you can also get connected there, so that you can watch a number of videos we used to create. Thank you so much. Have a good day.